Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marisa and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about the Interior Design Institute, the diploma program that they have for interior design, and answer some questions that you guys have been asking both here on YouTube and over on Instagram. Already done a comprehensive review of the Interior Design Institute. If you have questions about the general program, the types of assignments that are involved, and kind of how to pursue getting your diploma in interior design through the Interior Design Institute, I highly recommend you check out that video. I will link it in the description box below for you. Before we dive into answering some of your questions about the Interior Design Institute, I would love it if you would take a second and tap subscribe and be a part of this growing community. Also, tap like if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That would be really helpful. So in August, I graduated from the Interior Design Institute with my diploma, and honestly, you guys, it was such a great experience. I learned so much. They cram so much information into this course that really you end up getting a wealth of knowledge in the amount of time that you are studying. Now, like I said in my previous video, they say that this is a 6-month program. However, if you are working full-time or have other commitments, you are able to stretch it out to take up to 1 year. I work full-time, and I also started an interior design business on the side during the summer. So it ended up taking me just under 8 months to complete this entire program. So since I posted my first video giving a review of the Interior Design Institute, I've received a number of questions, and I've noticed that a lot of them are repeated, a lot of the same types of questions. So I hope this video can go a little bit deeper and help those of you who are considering enrolling with the Interior Design Institute. Just make your mind up. I hope this gives you some more information to help you process through the decision that you're making. You guys, I cannot recommend this program enough. It was so informative. So when you graduate the Interior Design Institute, you receive a diploma in interior design. So it's not a certificate, it's a little bit higher than a certificate, but it's not a master's or anything like that. There are 3- and 4-year programs that you can go to and really immerse yourself full-time in the world of interior design. But if you are maybe later in life or you don't have the opportunity to go to school full-time for a bunch of years, this is a really great way to immerse yourself and get such a great foundation in interior design, the concepts, the principles, all of the techniques, and it covers really a whole lot of information. Now, just for a quick overview, like I said, if you want more details, you can go to the original video I posted about this, but essentially what you end up doing throughout the course of the program is designing the main floor of a home. So whether that includes your kitchen, a bathroom, a study, a living area, you kind of get some flexibility as to what rooms you choose to include on the main floor, but you go through the process from the very beginning of a design project all the way through to completion, including learning how to communicate to trades, what information you need to gather in order to speak well to your tradesman or to your contractor, as well as how to communicate really effectively to the homeowner and speak a language that they can really understand clearly so that they are not met with any surprises as the design unfolds. You also learn how to source items, and you learn how to gather all of the products and supplies that you would need to have in order to actually complete a design project. So one of the questions that I'm asked often is, how did you get your hand on these supplies and the actual textiles and the fabrics and the tiles and all that when you hunt around online, you see students are posting photos with that type of product? Well, right off the hop, when you enroll and you get access to your first module, they will give you a link, and that link basically gives you access to a handful of manufacturers and suppliers where you can reach out to them and ask them to send you samples. Some of these are free and they'll just send them to you. Other ones do have a small fee associated with them. If you don't want to pay the money and get the ones with the fee connected to them, you don't have to. It really all depends on how you want to proceed, but they give you a lot of resources right off the hop. And so I highly recommend, as soon as you dive into the course, take a moment, go through that list, click the link, send the emails, make the phone calls, do whatever it is you need to do so that as you begin to go through the program, your supplies start showing up in your mailbox and you start creating a little bit of a reserve so that as you are talking through the different lessons and learning about different products and different parts of design, you're able to actually have components in your hand that you could be using as hard examples as opposed to just some abstract concept that they're talking about. In addition to those samples, there are other supplies that you're going to need, but again, they provide you a list right off the hop of the type of supplies that you might need access to in order to successfully complete the program. Now, they will let you know right away, you do not need any special computer programs to create the floor plan. If you want, you can do the whole thing by hand, and they tell you what tools you would need to purchase in order to make sure your measurements are actually drawn to scale and what kind of paper you might want to use, all that kind of stuff. If you decide you want to do a floor plan on a computer program, they also make recommendations for different computer programs, and they range from really kind of basic, kind of bottom of the line programs all the way up to like AutoCAD and really intense, robust programs that come with a hefty annual fee. So you really can pick anything that's going to work for your lifestyle, for where you're at. You can pick the program you want to use, or if you want to do it by hand, they make it really, really easy. They're looking for you to learn the concept of what needs to be included in a floor plan more than they're looking at, are you actually able to use the program well that you are using? I hope that makes sense. I use a program called Live Home 3D Pro. It is an app that is accessible in Mac computers. I don't know if there's a PC version, I didn't look. And it's really basic, but it was really helpful. It allowed me to get a grasp on what they were trying to teach. I ended up upgrading from the free version to the pro version just because it had a handful of more options that I wanted available to me. Like I said, I'm also in the process of starting my own business, so I thought these tools would be really useful for me beyond just taking this program. They also offer some advanced modules, and once you finish a handful of modules in the interior design course, they make these advanced modules available for purchase. One of them, I believe, is AutoCAD, one of them is SketchUp for interior designers, and they offer both the PC and the Mac platforms. So if you really did want to dive in and get really familiar with one of these types of CAD programs, there is additional modules that you could purchase and then take those as well, so that you finish the whole course really, really understanding this type of a computer program really well. So the reason I chose the one that I did is because it was accessible on my iPad, and I had these dreams of just doing this, on my iPad, which ended up not working, but it's really functional on my desktop. So I really, really enjoy it. I have considered actually upgrading and moving to a different, more robust program that maybe has a better layout that maybe my mind might work a little bit better with. I haven't quite decided on which one yet, but that is definitely something in the back of my mind. And if I choose to do that, I will be taking one of the advanced modules through the Interior Design Institute to learn all about it. Some of the assignments also require you to pull together a bunch of images and make like a mood board or a style board or different types of ways to visually present your ideas. And so again, in those modules, they make recommendations for computer programs that you could use, and they even explain a way to do it if you only have access to like Microsoft PowerPoint. They try to make it as easy for anybody to do the assignments with the tools available to them. For me, I use Canva. I have been using Canva for years and years and years. We have the pro license for Canva, and so I found it really easy to pull together all of my images, drop them into Canva, and create all of the different sample boards, mood boards, and all the things throughout the program just using Canva. Highly recommend that app. So one of the questions I get asked is about certification, and does the diploma then allow me to be certified with different design governing bodies and different boards that are connected with interior design? Well, first of all, I would say you need to go to your local area and see what the requirements are for you in that area. Where I am in Southern Ontario in Canada, there are a handful of different design organizations that accept the diploma from the Interior Design Institute. I could apply to be a part of those organizations by submitting my diploma along with a portfolio of work that I have done over the last year or so, and pay the annual fee to be a part of those types of organizations. I have not yet pursued that. It's not off the table for me at all. I'm just, like I said, starting to get my business up and running and looking at the different aspects involved in that. So at this moment, I'm not pursuing that. I do recommend that you go online and do some research and find out if the Interior Design Institute diploma will give you the certification that you want for the type of organization that that you would like to be accredited through, or that you would like to be in relationship with as you grow your own business as an interior designer. What I found when I did the research was it is really clear on so many websites which online programs they accept as part of their certification. So do that research. A quick Google search should help you kind of narrow down what it is you're looking for. But in many of the ones I looked at, specifically in my region, the Interior Design Institute was included in all of them. So like I said, it took me just under 8 months to complete this program. And just to put that in context, I worked at it approximately 2-ish hours a week. Some weeks were just really busy with my full-time job and I wasn't able to put any time into my learning and the assignments that are included with the Interior Design Institute, but other weeks I was really able to give it. And so it kind of averaged out to around 2 hours a week. I ended up taking 3 weeks off for summer holidays and didn't even look at it during that time at all. So really I could see how if you just dedicate the time and plow through, that you would definitely be able to get it done within a 6-month time frame. I found it a little bit harder as well to do that because at the same time I was in the program where I was sourcing an entire kitchen and an entire bathroom for my assignment, I was also in real life researching and getting all of the entire bathrooms and entire kitchens, and I had a handful of real design jobs on the go, and I just found it really hard to put all of the effort in at that time to my assignments when I had something actually happening in real life. So I kind of again would pause a week or two, and then once something kind of eased up in my real life, I would move back over to this assignment and get working on it to try to really plow ahead. So for me, it was like hit and miss. Some weeks I was able to give a lot, some weeks I wasn't. They make some suggestions early on in the course and kind of throughout the program really about some recommended reading. And so I purchased a handful of the books that they recommended, and a bunch more are in my Amazon cart because I really do want to continue to learn and draw from people who have been in the industry for so many years and just continue to learn all about the incredible things you can do with interior design. So that is an additional expense if you choose to proceed with some of the recommended reading and buying some of the books that they recommend. That will be an additional expense on the tuition cost. However, I think it's completely worth it. I highly recommend that you give them a follow over on Instagram. They are always posting really great content, as well as sharing examples from students who post their own assignments online. If you search for the hashtag IDI student, you will see a whole world of students going through this program, and you get to see their assignments and what it is they're working on. Reach out to them, connect with them, chat with them. I know that I've loved hearing from people who have reached out to me to ask me questions as they're considering enrolling in this program, and really it's through using that hashtag that so many people have ended up finding me, and we've had some really great dialogue. So I highly recommend follow them online. Also, if you have further questions about the program, they have incredible customer service. So if you want to go onto their website and contact them with any specific questions that you might have, they've always been really responsive and really helpful. One question that I've been asked a handful of different times now is, do you get to select who your tutor is? And the answer to that is no. They will pair you up with a tutor that is a good fit. I don't know if that just is solely based on the tutor's workloads or where you're located in the world. I don't know how they figure it out. Okay, and I've been asked this question by so many of you who have either decided to enroll in the Interior Design Institute, or you already are enrolled and you met me through the hashtag on Instagram. And that is, how did you start your business? So I might do a whole separate video about that, but I would really just say the kind of the foundation of it is I did a lot of interior design work for free for my family and friends. I wanted the experience. I wanted to see the types of things that I didn't know that I was going to need to learn about, and I wanted to build up my portfolio. And I had been doing that for approximately 5 years before I decided to take the Interior Design Institute program. So I really feel like if you can practice, if you can get your hands in the industry, if you can really go out of your way and try to use your talent, develop your talent, grow and learn, and just get yourself into the industry, that it's easier to step into now launching a business because you have a whole portfolio of work that you can showcase that you've done. So that's kind of the gist of how I have started my business. I'm in the process of starting it and doing all the things. One of the things I'm actually taking right now through the Interior Design Institute is how to build your own website. I'm in the process of constructing a business website. If you want to follow me over on Instagram, that's kind of where I'm documenting this whole journey of starting my own interior design design business. It is Marisa Anderson Design. I would love to hear from you. And honestly, if you have any other questions about the Interior Design Institute or starting a business in interior design or anything, I would love to hear from you, whether you comment on this video or whether you come see me over on Instagram. Let's just chat, and if I can be of any help, I'd be more than happy to. So this is not a sponsored video. They have not asked me to do this video. I really wanted to do a follow-up once I started seeing the types of questions that you guys were asking about the Interior Design Institute. So I really hope that this is a helpful follow-up from that first video that I filmed while I was still enrolled in the program. One of the perks of graduating from the Interior Design Institute is they give everyone who graduates a link to share that allows others to get $200 off their enrollment fee. So if you are interested in signing up for the Interior Design Institute, if you feel like you've got all your questions answered and you think that it would be a really great fit for you, then you can click the link in my description box and it will give you $200 off of your enrollment fee for the Interior Design Institute. That takes a $999 fee down to $799. I love that they make that link available to you guys, but in all honesty, I would be putting this video out there regardless of whether or not there was a link like that I could share with you, because I truly love this program, and if I can answer your questions and help bring clarity to you, then I feel like I have done my job. Consider this video a success. If enough of you do click on that link and decide to register using my link in the description box, then I will get access to a free advanced module, so full disclosure. But honestly, you guys, I love the program so much that with or without that link, I would be sharing all of this information because I think this is such an incredible program. Regardless of the season of life that you might be in, you're gonna learn so much. You're gonna have access to some incredible modules and some great videos and some awesome resources that really are gonna equip you and fuel your love for interior design. So if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you back here next week at I Am Loved.